Earlies, the postman hath ringeth. Welcome fellow Kiss fans, welcome to It's All For You Demons, celebrating the fun of being a Kiss fan, and tonight, probably the greatest night of 2021, and that is the fact that we are celebrating this. The Destroyer box set has finally arrived, and all shipping fiasco talk aside, tonight we're going to focus on my thoughts on the 45th anniversary Destroyer box set, because I'm not a Destroyer guy. I've never been a huge advocate for the album. It is one of my least played albums, even back in the high school days, collecting the back catalog on CD. Just never played it a lot. And honestly, that is because I am a fan of the album that was released 8 months after Destroyer. This, which I consider to be a rock and roll blister from beginning to end. So I've never really understood why Destroyer is considered the be-all, end-all, greatest Kiss album of all time, when this just came a few months later. But all of that aside, tonight we are going to look at this beautiful box set that just arrived today. And you know, the fun of being a Kiss fan is learning something new every day. Learning, relearning, looking at things with a fresh eye. And that's what I plan on doing with this box set. I plan on revisiting Destroyer kind of for the first time in a brand new light, brand new way, brand new media, and dive into it and see how my thoughts on this album perhaps change for the better. I have already unpackaged this box and kind of did a preliminary look inside. I'm not going to do an unboxing video. Every Kiss fan in the world is doing an unboxing video right now. You can go out and see that anytime. This is more going to be my thoughts on this box set. First thought, there was a lot of shipping trouble with this. Emails, delays, pissed off thoughts that entered my mind and really soured this experience. But I'm not going to dwell on that tonight, because when I opened this box set, I literally did like a Dr. Evil laugh. And I think a lot of the reason, if you think about it, all the years of wishing and wanting, we finally have it. We finally have a freaking Kiss box set, and it is beautiful. And just holding this in my hand, I felt like a 17-year-old kid again, going to Liberty Sound and Video on a Tuesday release day and picking up a brand new item of Kiss glory. And it was absolutely just a beautiful experience. I know that sounds horribly stupid to say, but it was absolutely just beautiful pulling this out of the box and just knowing that this entire weekend is going to be devoted to this band we love. And that took away all of my shipping heartburn and troubles. Kiss, I forgive you for every bad thing I said and texted my friends about. I love ya. I love this box set. And now it's time to dig in. Like I said, I've already done kind of a little prelim look at this, but I just wanted to show you guys the fun. This is the hardcover book. Very cool cover and back cover. My thoughts on this coming soon after I dive more in. Next up, the Army kit. I love these Army kits, and this is absolutely beautiful. And this was another breathtaking moment. Again, I have not dug into this fully enough to give you my thoughts, but I will show you the absolute fun opening this thing up. This is, look at that. That is a bundle of Kiss fun just waiting for you to dive in. I can't even imagine how cool it was for a kid in the 70s to receive these in the mail, because I felt like a child opening this up today and just seeing that. But again, we'll get into that later on. This is pretty cool. Little embossed envelope. Inside, it looked to be the tour book, the stage blueprints, and probably the posters. Again, I have not dug into this. We will shortly. And of course, the CDs. Destroyer on CD. The bootleg, the demos and outtake CD. Live in Paris. And then the Blu-ray CD. But again, I am going to dive into this box set over the next few hours, pick up the camera again, and give you my thoughts from a fan who's not quite a fan of this album. But I will tell you, so far, it's only been like 20-30 minutes that I've owned this. May not be a fan of the album, but I am loving the box set.
3 hours later.
Disc 1, what can I say other than it just sounds beautiful? I am only used to this CD that I purchased like in the 90s, 1991. Sound quality is not what it should be, and Disc 1 remastered just sounds beautiful. Even that beginning newscast just comes blaring from the speakers and is crystal clear and absolutely wonderful. Fan like myself who only has the CD from the 90s, this is a tremendous upgrade and well worth the experience. Disc 2 is where we get into the nuts and bolts and nitty gritty of what I love about the audio of this box set. Personally, I'm going to have to say I like the Gene Simmons demos much better than the Pauls. A little closer to my heart, a little closer to my DNA. Loving Man of a Thousand Faces, Burning Up with Fever, Rockin' Rolls Royce, and I really dig Nightboy. Nightboy, a nice little demo of Sweet Pain. I'm really loving that. What really grabs my heart is Disc 3, and that is the outtakes and demos. And I'm not going to lie, I don't know if I'm menstruating or if I'm just a sappy old man, but these Beth mixes literally move me. My friends and I have an inside joke that when you get real sentimental, it turns you into George Brett, who broke down into like choky tears during his Hall of Fame speech. When you get a bit sappy, we always call it you turned into George Brett. Well, these Beth mixes absolutely turned me into George Brett. Especially this Beth Take 6. It reminds me of, I'm a Beatles fan, and it reminds me of when those anthologies came out and you heard like instrumental versions of Eleanor Rigby. Totally reminds me of that. So hearing these outtakes really does kind of take me into a Beatles world, and there's nothing wrong with that in my book and in my world. So I am really digging this disc. So here's where I think we should touch base on my previous videos I've done called What is My Deal with Destroyer and my thoughts on Destroyer.
What is my deal with this record? What is my deal with this record? Oh, it's not glasses, so you don't want to eat it. That's what it is. That's what it is.
Disc 3, the outtakes and demos, really show me a fire the band had going into this album. And I've said this before, I think what I don't like about Destroyer is Bob Ezrin. I don't like his production of this album. I think I would have loved Destroyer much more had it been produced by Eddie Kramer. And these demos really prove to me, I think it's the production and mastering of Destroyer that I don't like, because the demos I'm loving. I'm loving it. It's got a fire to it. It's got an energy that I feel maybe kind of lacking from the final record. And lastly, I just want to say that the demo outtake CD has made me realize how absolutely important Peter Criss was to mid-70s Kiss. These demos, he has that alive 75 fire to his playing. Alive, Destroyer, and Rock and Roll Over. Peter Criss was just a fire behind that drum kit, and these demos really bring that out. And it's really what I'm loving about these demos. A lot of Peter Criss appreciation. So that being said, final chapter on What's My Deal with Destroyer. It's that. I love the energy of this record, and these demos have made me look at this record differently. Still gonna say I wish it was produced by Eddie Kramer. Do I hate it? No. Do I love it? No. Do I appreciate it more today than I did yesterday? Most certainly. The Live in Paris disc is absolutely fun. To me, it feels like you are back in time, listening to something you shouldn't be hearing. I think myself, I'm so used to Alive. Hearing this, I really hear like the band's energy, their excitement, their youth, their newfound fame, the joy of touring, the joy of being in another country, and the joy of rock and roll. And these songs are played a little faster than they are on Alive. She, especially the opening riff, is pretty damn fast, but pretty damn awesome also. And I'm really loving this disc. It really feels like if you're a fan of like bootleg or soundboard stuff, this disc is for you. Last but not least, the Blu-ray audio. I have recently moved my Blu-ray player from upstairs to downstairs. Upstairs, we have speakers. Downstairs in the Wax Night basement, I do not. However, I am getting speakers for downstairs on Christmas. So, my plan is either after Christmas, going to play this in the Wax Night basement on the Blu-ray player, or I'm going to wait for a Wax Night where all the Wax Night members dive into the box set and hopefully have it at my friend Chuck's house. Chuck has the whole movie theater setup, so that would be preferred in my book. Hoping for option 2. But I did enjoy this little blurb from the book that explains, with disc 5 you are now able to hear at home what we hear in the studio. The Blu-ray disc contains all the tracks from Destroyer plus 2 bonus tracks. Technical jargon I don't understand. Dolby HD, providing greater detail in reproducing the music's full dynamic songs. So diving into the box set goodies. I haven't read this book, of course. It's only been a day, and I really want to savor this box set into the Christmas season and just really enjoy a little bit a day. Like, just sprinkle it through the Christmas break. But if you have watched my channel before, you know I love foreign pressings, and this book gave me foreign pressing hot face. But it really gave me Destroyer foreign pressing hot face for a medium I don't really collect. And I will show you those 2 photos now. It is this page talking about the album, of course. They have the resurrected cover, of course, because that's the original art. And then they have the Argentina album. I'm in love with those Argentina records. Destructor! That just tickled my foreign pressing hot face trigger, my foreign pressing wall. Of course, German logo looking so divine. And who can't love a Japanese obi in their life? But almost even more fun than these albums, we flip back to cassettes and all of the different versions of the cassettes that exist. West Germany, Italy, Spain, Mexico, Brazil, Argentina, Destructor, Japan first pressing, Japan second pressing. This is the stuff I love, you know, be it a new book, new magazine, new podcast, learning about new things you didn't know existed out there in the world, and it just creates a brand new collecting rabbit hole. That is the fun of being a Kiss fan, and that is the fun of collecting. And for the Army kit, this is where the juice is real. Again, I'm not gonna, spill every bean in the bundle, but I will touch on my favorite parts. Again, this thing is just so absolutely beautiful when you open it up. It's a treasure chest of joy just waiting to be had. Now, these are a few of my favorite things. Some of my favorite things from, it's the holidays. You gotta throw in a holiday jingle. These are from some of my favorite pieces of the Army kit, and let's start first with this beautiful, absolutely beautiful Army ID card. Glossy, glossy, glossy. Look at that. That is gorgeous. From Bob Steele. And was Bob Steele Peggy Tamarkin? If I'm remembering my history right, Peggy Tamarkin was the press officer for Kiss, wrote this book, The Real Story, and her pseudonym for the Army kits was Bob Steele. Regardless, this is a thing of beauty. Next up on the beauty tit are these 45th anniversary deluxe edition motorcycle pics. These are so cool looking, and they each have like a little blurb about the record. But the pics and the quality of the paper, it's super thick, super sturdy. And if you loved Destroyer and didn't want to keep these things in your Army kit folder, and you wanted to frame these or display these on your shelves, these would be perfect items to put in your Kiss room. And just a little fun, personal collecting fun bone. This iron-on is very cool. Super large, and man, that's fun. That's pure 70s fun. I'm also really loving these 8x10s, especially for the 70s effect of the lighting in each picture. And again, these are super nice quality. Thick, cardstock, nice and glossy, and just the 70s of the aesthetic in each picture is so super cool. And again, if you loved Destroyer, these would be amazing to frame in your Kiss room. Look how fun that logo is. Nothing really to say here, but just to show you. Man, gorgeous, gorgeous stuff. And I absolutely love this Canadian ad. Just picture this in a record store window. How cool would this be on your wall? And lastly, of course, of my favorites, the inside of the Army kit notebooks. Just the cool ads for the upcoming albums and the wonderful Casablanca logo. I always wonder how many children of the 70s took these Army kit folders to school and used them as a notebook. And the embossed envelope. Some favorites. Of course, these blueprints. Badass. Glad they're not as flimsy. I imagined the blueprints would be pretty flimsy and probably easily damaged, especially if they're in Danny Thompson's hands. But these are not. These are very nice and sturdy and very cool. Of the Destroyer stage that we don't ever really get to hear a lot of, super cool for me to have a copy of this tour book because I've never actually seen this tour book in real life. No, I don't think I ever have. And I'm loving this page of Ace. Not going to flip through it though. It's out there, and I don't want to give too many spoilers. I do love this track by track newspaper that comes in the box set. Super cool and super fun to look through as you listen to those CDs. And lastly, just blew my mind, took my breath away. Look at how freaking beautiful this poster is. Glossy as all get out, crystal sharp image. And on a personal note, when I was in New York City with my friends, we found this actual spot. Of course, couldn't get to that spot, but we matched up the buildings in the background and waxed nostalgia for a little rock and roll history. So this white building behind Gene's head right here is that building right there. So the band on the ledge would have been right there on that corner. That is so awesome. My final thoughts on the box set. Is it worth $200? Absolutely. As a so-so fan of the Destroyer record, is it worth buying the box set? Absolutely. And putting the baby to bed on the What's My Deal with Destroyer vlogs I've done in the past, I touched base on this a little bit with the bonus disc, but I have a newfound appreciation for Destroyer, and a lot of it lies within the hands of Peter Criss. But just to get completely sappy on you and emotional and sentimental, I know none of this will make any sense, but I've been pretty low lately. Like, I'm not like a depressed person, but I don't know what it was. Like, after Halloween, like, I just didn't give a shit anymore about anything. And getting this box set in the mail, I felt like George Costanza eating a mango.
Come on, we're gonna pay you. Here, have some mango.
I don't want any
Come
mango.
on, take some.
It's good.
Very good. Juicy. Yeah. Ripe. I feel like I got a B12 shot. I'm back, baby! I'm back!
And the reason being can be summed up in this text message I sent Dan Thompson 20 minutes after opening this box set. I totally felt like a 17-year-old kid again in high school, getting some brand new Kiss shit that is amazing and just takes you out of what you don't like. You know, back then, none of us liked going to school. Today, none of us like going to work. None of us like looking at social media because it's just full of just crap all day long. Everyone's sick of politics. Everyone's sick of COVID. It was so nice to dive into this, and it really felt, and I know this sounds cheesy as hell to say, but it really felt like I was being saved by rock and roll. And God bless rock and roll. I love it. God bless this silly, silly band that we love, because being a fan of this band, you're different than everyone else on this planet. And we can always tap into it when we need that sense of belonging. And that's what I love about being a Kiss fan. I am damn proud to be a Kiss fan. I am damn proud to own this box set. And I am damn proud to have a different outlook on Destroyer. And I'm happy to have my friends that I grew up with and the friends I have made via social media, even though I hate the platform. All the wonderful Kiss fans that we meet every day and get a glimpse into their world and share stories and share fun and share excitement and share rock and roll. That is what this whole stupid thing is about. It's all about reliving those Friday nights in your buddy's basement, escaping your world. God bless rock and roll. Alright, so that is it for the Destroyer box set. Pee-wee, what do you think? I'm thinking I love it. Large Marge is thinking she's still on the fence. Thank you for hanging with us tonight. Thank you for waxing a little rock and roll nostalgia with us, reviewing our thoughts, favorites, and how the box set changed our mind. The Kiss Destroyer 45th anniversary box set. Be good to your baby. Spay, neuter, microchip. Take care, be safe. We will talk to you soon. Good night, Larmar. I have to be super careful. She just drank water. She just drank water, and I don't need you dripping water. I don't need you dripping water all over the army kit. Yeah, little Ted Knight for you. Up close and personal. All right, let's stay back. Hey. Let's stay back. Come on. Stay back. Stay back from the goods. Stay back from the goods.